Grown conversation. The irrelevancy of the high value man, so called, to the black woman who knows how to make skill based money. I mentioned Cassie and Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, or whatever that man is calling himself. And I thought to myself, what could make a woman be willing to submit to that kind of treatment? What happens with abused women in general is really the question. And what happens is that these men convince women that they have no chance in life without them. And what I'm saying is how this works out with the quote high value man is that Attorney Dennis Sterling was kind enough to present a list of things that Kevin Samuels said went with high value men. And all of these things assume that the value of a man is only in his height, his network, and his money. It's not a question of his soul, his development, his personality, his moral standing. None of that has anything to do with anything. These are the kind of thing that you would imagine that um, standing on a slave block sometime in 1864, 160 years ago, people are sitting up looking at, okay, well, he's strong, he's going to make us a lot of money, he's over 6 feet tall, and he can stud a bunch of children. That's how that conversation works out, except for the network, of course. And black men are just as loud as everybody, all these other white men who are also failures, sitting up there talking about if a woman doesn't get a good man by age 25, then she should settle down with someone. If you want someone like this, first of all, you can't get one after age 30. And now they've lowered it to 25. And that if you're any later than that, or if you're not the right weight, the right height, if you're not light enough, you just should settle down. If you do get a high value man, you're going to have to accept that he's going to expose you to STDs and having side babies that take money out of the house because he has options to get himself killed with AIDS, HPV, and antibiotic resistant syphilis and gonorrhea and bring that home to you. And you're just going to have to settle for that. And my attitude is nope, you don't. You don't. And why don't you? Because you also can learn to have skill based money. See, a lot of the controversy and why a lot of these failure men want us to go back to 1950 is because men could not have bank accounts, credit cards. Actually, nobody could have credit cards in 1950. On average, person couldn't get a credit card, but bank accounts without some man's permission. The internet has opened the door for black women to be able to never have to be this desperate again. But there's a choice. This is a choice. It is a series. By the way, Cassie survived her situation and found herself a good husband and settled down. He did not see her as damaged goods. He saw her as someone to love and cherish, and that's who she's with now. So she moved on up from P. Diddy, and P. Diddy probably gonna be moving his way into prison, just like Bishop the Moore Whitehead that we talked about last time. Because the foolery does have an end. People don't believe it, but the foolery has an end to it. I'm saying to you, don't be at the end. I'm saying to you at the beginning. You do not need to sell yourself to some high value, overbaked version of Thomas Jefferson, not as tall, not as cute, and not as influential. Ain't got no plantation or a pot to do his thing in or a window to throw it out of on that level. Just cracked $100,000 a year and has a few boys that he goes and talks smack to women about, but he's a high value man. I don't care what the concept is. What we're talking about is be able to understand how to go to markets and find your own money, how to work systems that exist and make your own money. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about how men are mad because they cannot compete with all the layers of men they have to compete with to get above average because they don't want to learn how to use these skills either. But because they don't want to learn, humble themselves and go learn something, then they're going to get stuck in a situation where women can take or leave them because we can go learn how to do this and pass them by and be in environments See, this is the thing. I am definitely 43 years old and fat, but I'm down 30 pounds. And you know, the men in my neighborhood know that. They've watched me do it. They know I can keep up with them, hiking to high heights. They know that I can get up and down these hills because they've seen me doing it. And y'all have never seen what happens if Miss Deanne wears red or even burgundy or bright purple. I have men staring at me from 2, 3 blocks away. I have a big, beautiful figure. It's big, but it's there. And it's fairly well muscled because of the work that I do. And by the end of the summer, I'll make that 30 pounds, 45 or more, maybe 60. Y'all watch. I live in a neighborhood where there are landed men with property. A lot of them are single. And see, I keep confusion down because when I go out to exercise, I'm trying to exercise. But if Miss D gets ready, all Miss D's got to do is put on red, buy some lipstick, maybe invest in a little wake up, and keep walking through these neighborhoods that are richer than mine with the right cut on. Think Miss D can't catch a high value man or and more? But here's the thing about me. I already have 9 figures of community responsibility. So a man who thinks he's done something by making $100,000 a year, I sign off on contracts that cost more than that monthly. Your whole year's effort, that's a single contract for my responsibility. And because I have market-based money, I'm not even tempted to touch any of it. I can be trusted around that kind of money because, again, I don't need to touch any of it. I understand how to work in crypto markets. And I used to do a little bit more in the stock market than I do now. But I might get back to that next year because as crypto tops out, maybe I have a sixth book out. And I probably will talk to you about certain stocks that I do understand how they work because I've learned how they work in analogy to explaining crypto to people. Because I have skill-based money. Now it also doesn't hurt that daddy and granddaddy also took care of business. So it's like, y'all, I don't have to go to anybody to ask for money. I don't have to go to my father for money. I don't have to. I take care of myself. I choose what I want to do based on what I want to do. And for $5, you also can learn how to have that kind of freedom as well. Get set up. And if again, if crypto is not your thing, hey, if you're giving yourself a chance to learn, fine. I want you to start listening to Black Girl Stocks, Black women making money, Black women build wealth. I want you to listen to Stephanie Perry, show you a whole lot of remote ways that you can make money. Rashida Dow, Sheeta's on the Loose. Picky Girl Travels the World. That's a daily abortion. Day has a wonderful program called Burnout to Bliss to help you get your money together to move on with your life. Um, Marissa Price, Lifting as We Climb, Mocha Mommy, Samry Bliss. I keep mentioning these names to you. I want you to listen to them to understand all the ways that are available to you to be able to earn money without having to kiss up behind someone else. Any man who thinks that you are going to be on sale for his petty ante, $100,000 a year, of which he is only bringing home at max, depending on what state he lives in, he might be bringing home 62,000. I want you to have the kind of skill-based money that will make you fit to be a partner to men who know how to bring home 80,000 free and clear because they understand long-term capital gains. And to have that option. All of these men are not looking for someone who's too young to have a brain mature enough to know how to do that. Because men who actually do understand how to make money in skill based ways do not necessarily want to be married to someone who is a consumer in thinking. So, for those of you who are hypergamy sisters, you need to train your brain. You need to get some skill based money and prove yourself as being able to handle that kind of responsibility. And you need to start now. There are plenty of men of multiple ages. Look, I do these reels regularly, and there's all these men trying to slide in and get added as friends and all this stuff. I'm ignoring them because that's not what I'm looking to do right now. My plate is very full. Um, and and I look at it this way: it wouldn't be fair to me, and it wouldn't be fair to him either. So I'm not looking right now. But as I continue to do well with this, like I said, all I gotta do is start coming up here in red. Y'all do not know. I do. It's one of the reasons I don't. And then I got confidence with Love skincare system and with those beautiful fragrances that she has. I can have flies. I got all kind of men and beasts just trying to get up next to me. She said that was gonna happen. I was so glad she warned me. She said it was gonna happen because we just have five senses, we have seven, and her stuff works on all seven. So I'm just kind of like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad she warned me because that's kind of power you have, Black women. Make you some extra money and go buy Confidence with Love skincare system. Get you some skill-based money so you don't have to keep having the same arguments with people who are lost in the sauce and going around and around and around in corners. You think you finally made $100,000, you're gonna go back to some slave market, SMV, sexual market value, sir and madam. June 19th, 1865 is next month. We've already passed the 159th anniversary of Robert E. Lee having to surrender. We passed that in April. We still in the May where other Confederates were trying to figure out, yeah, I guess we can't do this. We're gonna have to surrender real quick. We're in that time period 159 years ago now. June 19th will make 159 years since the last official slave markets in this country closed. Black women have not been on anybody's market since then. Anybody who does not understand is not anybody you have to give time or attention to. We out here listening to men whose ideas are antiquated 159 years. No mainframes, no computers, no no economy as we know it today. And they up here talking about market values. If you're gonna make $101,000 be pre-tax, that you didn't even get to take home because you don't know how to cut your withdrawals down. And you think suddenly that entitles you to tell women that they have to give it to you by a certain age or settle. And then the men who want you to settle, like settle and be mistreated, settle to be abused, settle to be returned to a breeder and a worker for them. No. But in order to say no with authority, it's important that you learn systems to get skill-based money. That's what I was talking about in the previous video yesterday. It'll be yesterday on your time. This is what I was talking about. I had to sit down and think about how did Cassie get herself into this situation. But see, Cassie got out on the other side. She found her human dignity and she now has a husband and beautiful children and is getting on with her life. And it does not hurt that she won that big judgment against Cassie, so against P. Diddy before that. So anybody who doubted her now is convinced, but she already got her money. 8 figures. And that white man she's with and her and them kids gonna spend that black man's money as long as they want to. She wouldn't have had 8 figures if she hadn't gone through it. But see, all money is not the best money. She's got to live with those memories for life. And so what I'm saying to you is going through all that for men that do not have 8 figures of money for you to take away from them is don't. Get into skills-based money, Black women. I'm gonna need you to do that. And as I'm gonna say at the end of this video too, I'm gonna need you to care enough about yourself. If you have not already invested $5 in this book, I need you to do it. I need you to start learning about how assets work in cycles. Because once you see it in crypto, you also will be ready when I talk about how this is the time to buy chocolate, flour, sugar, and crypto at the same time. Those are all cyclical assets. No matter what you do, as long as the economy lasts in some form, you will be able to buy chocolate at a particular time of year, sell it at a particular time of year, and have more money than you started with. Had you started in crypto when I put this book out, because I've been talking to you on this YouTube channel longer than anybody else, every $20 you invested would be worth 63 today, at least. But why? Not because I'm a genius. I'm not saying I'm not, but that's not the reason. The reason is cyclical assets follow a pattern. They have an upcycle, they have a down cycle. And once you understand how that works, no one can stop you from making money. You do not ever need to then be determined by some high value man. And like I said, there's not that there are good men. There are. But good men get old and good men get sick and good men die. I've been through it. I've been through it. So then you're not only just grieving but then you also in danger of you and your children being on the street? Is that what you want? See, I believe it was Madam D.A. Fonnie Willis who said, "A man is not a plan." I think that was her. And she was explaining why she had $100,000 up in her house and what her father had to get up there to honor do, and explain this is part of our culture. Black women have had to know how to make it work. Our foremothers came to a situation in which our forefathers were enslaved and could not help them. So we've always been in a position of having to figure it out on our own. Now that's as nice as I can be about it. Auntie Love ain't gonna even cut black men that much slack because she gonna talk to you about how it was if black men didn't stand up and fight harder. Since if Queen Amani Reynolds figured it out and Queen Nzinga and others figured it out, okay, so then what were all these other brothers doing? She's gonna say, well, black men will say they don't have any choice; they would be killed. No, you had a choice. You may not have liked your choices, but you have them. She ain't gonna cut you that much slack. She ain't gonna cut your forefathers that much slack. But I'm just gonna say, okay, they're already pretty much beaten and broken in slavery. So we've always had to figure things out. So we're gonna have to continue to do it. The idea of a high value man and needing to chase that man down and get beaten down the hall, which is what happened to Cassie at the hands of a black man, is not it, nor is it necessary. The crypto may not be for you. Fine. Get you some chocolate. This free. Generally speaking, buy chocolate on September 30 or for the first week of October. Hold it until Easter. Sell it by Good Friday because most people buy chocolate between Halloween and Easter. That's for free. We'll get into the details some other time. Do something. Money is not the answer to all problems. And as a Christian on this channel, you know this is the case, that I'm going to definitely stand on that. But I need you to understand that when Solomon said money answers all things, we're talking about all things temporal, not all things spiritual, not all things emotional, all things that are tangible, temporal. When we learn how to tap into the ability that we have to learn anything there is to learn and to benefit from anything anyone else is benefiting from, we will not have to be in the same arguments with the same people over and over again. You can get into arguments with black men and then be in arguments with their similarly Americanized and failing variations in any color you want. Because I post my reels on Twitter, I see them every single day. It's actually pathetic. And every now and again, won't get frog at me and say, "You telling me what you about to do and what men have done, and you sitting here on Twitter? You know, if you could do all that, you wouldn't even be out here on Twitter. What? You out here, you doing all that on Twitter though? Really? That's cute. No. But like I said, they come in all shapes and sizes. And they're just hoping that somehow a lot of them are in Bitcoin, unfortunately. That when Bitcoin gets to fill in whatever the amount is, they out here they're thinking they're gonna arrive. No, you're gonna have something that you probably, you're gonna have something that for a minute there, well, cash is trash. Okay, let it drop back down and not have what you think you have for a couple of years. But you'll find that that's gonna be their way to become the man who can go and buy whatever. So women don't want to learn Bitcoin. I saw this today. Women don't want to learn Bitcoin because they just think they're gonna wait at the finish line and catch them a Bitcoin millionaire. Nah, fool. I'm like, I'm not gonna even let you know. Not at all. The women I talk to, they ain't waiting on you at the finish line. We can get there ourselves. How much money would you have to invest from here to be a Bitcoin millionaire? No one knows the number exactly because it depends on how much Bitcoin will go up. But hey, you be a Bitcoin thousandaire. Get started on something. Or listen to Black Girl Stocks. There's options. Uh, I should mention Level Up Single Mom has got a show about somewhere back on her channel has a show about binary trading. Um, Black Girl Stocks. Birth Your Bag is that playlist on her on Level Up Single Mom's playlist of Birth Your Bag. Again, I'm saying it again. I'm gonna keep saying this to filters into somebody's consciousness. Black women making money, black women building wealth. Mocha Mommy, Sammy Bliss, Stephanie Perry. She Sheeta's on the loose. Pick your girl Shada's world. That's for Sheeta Dow a day of War Sade. If you want to find one-stop shopping, please go to Exodus Summit, which is Stephanie and Rashida with Adelia coming through there. Um, Marissa Price, Lifting as We Climb. There are actually many, many others once you train your algorithm with them. And of course, I'm here for you with Season the Crypto Bull Run for Financial Freedom. And if you look in my crypto playlist, my crypto journey, you will be able to go back and find out a lot of things without even spending the $5, how to do a lot of this for people. When you spend $5 on this channel, buying from the Gumroad link as opposed to Amazon, you are also putting 20% of your payment there into True Mystique's pocket. Y'all know True Mystique. She's in our algorithm too. She has put that beautiful cover on there. When you see this, you see the handiwork of another brilliant Black woman. You put some of your money into her pocket too. And again, this is not something I'm doing because I have to do it. I wrote the book, so you kind of figure I have my crypto together. But I'm tired of seeing Black women getting beat up, talked down to. I'm sick of it. I'm actually sick of that happening to everyone. The book is for everybody. I've been on channels of people with other races, and I will continue to do so. I'm working with some people from other races to get this moved out to the world right now, and I will continue to do so. But I'm always going to come back here because I'm tired. I'm tired of seeing Black women going through what we're going through when solutions exist. One of the solutions is to get skill-based money. If you already have children and you know you can't really pick up another job because that's going to take time away that you would have with your children, then you learn how to do skills-based. And you start with 5 and 6 and 7, like I said on the previous video. Okay, let's say, well, I only have $15 a week to invest. Well, you do know that in this week, your 15 would have gone up 15%, right? If you'd known how to put it in Bitcoin. Well, how much is 15% of 15? $2.25. So your 15% just got to 17.25. Well, it's only 225. That's 225 you didn't have to get another job to get. I need you to understand in a capitalist society, even with Project 25 over there looming over us, you can still be free and you can start now. I need you to understand that you can let the men argue about themselves among themselves about who's high value and who's not. In fact, that had already started before Kevin Samuels died. They was arguing back and forth over the definition. And attorney Dennis Sperling, being an attorney, had sense enough to get the list and go through it so that people could understand what the concept was about. I'll always appreciate that about him. Before he completely went off the rails, I used to enjoy his show sometimes. I learned a lot from him. I also learned how a very competent man can be a completely trifling individual. The man has a D Damon is his rapper name. And he's sitting up there talking about island girls who 22 and ain't never been on the island. That man is close to 50 now. But he's a highly intelligent man. Learned a lot. Thing about it is, you don't have to be bothered. You don't have to be bothered. You can learn how to get skills that will allow you to make money. And people keep men ideate about the whole system collapsing without even recognizing it. If that happens, men keep talking to me about, well, you know, the Bible says that. And there'll be a day coming where 7 women will take hold of one man. I said, that's Isaiah 4:1. Did you read the previous chapter? 6 out of 7 men will be dead. Maybe you better worry about yourself. People talk about ideating about societal collapse, that they will not survive. My favorite was, well, you know, men could just turn off the electricity. And women. I'm like, sir, if the men who can turn off the electricity turn it off, you would be dead too. You know, if you were one of those men, you wouldn't be on Twitter talking about it. You ain't gotta be bothered with that. You don't have to think that those men. You know, I'm on Twitter because I'm putting out my reels over there sometimes, and I just, you know, gently but firmly eat them alive because I can. I ain't gotta depend on them for anything. If they don't buy my book, who cares? There will be people who will. I don't want to lead them through my course and have them asking questions on my newsletter anyway. Frankly. I don't need every customer. I don't. So I want you to be able to have that attitude. So I'm gonna need you to learn how to get this skills-based money. All right. Again, I'm tired of seeing black women talked down to, and I'm tired of seeing it. I know people are like, Cassie's biracial. Fine. But I'm tired of seeing women getting beat down halls. I'm sick of it over some quote unquote high value man. Just stop it. And black women, stop it for yourself. Start listening to these channels. They're going to be teaching you new skills and freeing you from this paradigm. Do it before the election. Do it before January 20th, 2025, so you can feel comfortable. If somehow this country messes up and lets Donald Trump back in there, you still have skills that are going to allow you to have options to move around. For real. Please get started on this. Get your lives together. For real, though. Thank you for listening. Bye.